Good day, everyone. My name is Mbelu Kalombo. Me and my team will be talking about distributed systems. We share web application. Our team members are Kodani, Oleheho, Mbelu, and Susan T. Our content includes research and data analysis in section A, cost and benefit analysis in section B, presentation style in section C, website demonstration, section D, and section E, we dive deep into web development tools. So I'll leave section A to Kodani.
Good morning, guys. My name is Kadani, and I will be presenting section EA, which is the research and data analysis part of our project. So, firstly, as part of our We Think Code curriculum, we needed to do a module for the web development for us to be introduced to the web development where we are writing code that executes in a browser, which is a client side application development that uses 3 different languages. So, for the Weshare, we used HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so the project that we were doing, like I said prior, it is Weshare. Weshare is a social expense tracker, a web application where anyone can go and put in their everyday record their track their expenses. For example, in this application, you were able to log in using your credentials, be able to track your expenses, track what you're using your money on, track the people that you're helping or the people that you're giving your money, and be able to ask for that money back on particular dates. So in our development pathway to build this project, we had iteration one, where it was the server side rendering, which involved developing the HTTPS server backend with controllers. The iteration two was the client side rendering. In this iteration, we were pulling the data from our server in order to build the UI dynamically in the browser by manipulating the DOM. Iteration three, which was the distributed components, which was the iteration we created a lasting system for our data in. So the requirements. So we were building, like I said, an application that tracks the expenses shared amongst friends. It is like based on social trust. So you had the user side, you had the expenses and the payment request. The user side is where you were logging in with your email. So in order for us to avoid complexity of passwords and all of that, it only required you to put your email to log in. You had the expenses side, and this is where you were spending your money on, where you were recording everything that you were spending your money on. With the payment request, in this section, you were asking every individual or anyone that you were giving money to be able to give you back your money like you helped them. So the different types of web development, like our curriculum stated, that we needed to make sure that we understand them in different examples. We have the text editors, which is the IDE, the Visual Studio, WebStorm, JetBrains as the examples. With the front end frameworks, which is our React and the jQuery. The back end frameworks, which is the Django, which uses the Python language. ASP.NET, which uses the C# language. The API development tools, the Swagger and the Postman. In this particular project, we use the Visual Studio for our text editor and integrated development environment IDE, as well as core web development programming languages, which is the HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript. We also needed to be able to show that we were using a computer to conduct our research. For example, we used a computer to search for information on the internet, to follow the links provided by the We Think Code in helping us learn on how to build web applications. We were given 2 weeks to complete the project. The first week was used for the planning, dividing tasks and researching. Guidelines on the project requirements were provided on the curriculum website. The curriculum website also provided various external resources, links to assess and learning the fundamentals of web technologies. We also used Google as a source to quickly find or confirm any further information on the internet. We chose Google Slides as a technology for presenting our project, which is a cloud-based platform where anyone with access to the slides can access them from anywhere, making it easier to collaborate as a team. Okay, so the last part that we needed to be able to understand, or the curriculum required us to understand, what are web plugins. Web plugins, also known as the extensions, they enhance the functionality of web browsers by adding features and capabilities. They will be explained further down in section E by my team member.
Jeja, and I'll be presenting section B and C, the cost and benefit analysis. So the purpose of the cost and benefit analysis is to evaluate the potential cost and benefit associated with a particular project that helps companies make informed choices. Different parts of cost and benefit analysis are: number one, to identify the project to be implemented. The purpose is to clearly define the specific initiative to achieve a set of objectives for the project. Secondly, to identify costs and benefits. The purpose of identifying cost is to understand the financial commitment required to initiate and sustain the project. Identifying benefits that helps to evaluate the positive outcomes or returns the project is expected to deliver. And then number three, risk analysis is there to identify potential risk and uncertainties associated with the project and to apply appropriate strategies. Assign monetary value to cost and benefits. This enables decision makers to objectively compare and prioritize projects based on their financial implications. And then calculate the benefit cost ratio, which is to compare the total value of benefit against the total cost and to see if the project is financially viable. In terms of the cost estimation, this project was developed within an academic setting as part of our coursework. Therefore, all resources were provided by Within Code. This includes facilities, equipment, and mentorship. Cost estimation were not applicable as there were no direct financial expenses incurred by us as students. For time estimation, overall we're given 2 weeks to complete the project by researching, familiarizing ourselves with the work, dividing the task according to the component requirements, as explained in section A, ensuring that our user interface functions as required and using tests to verify that each element of the work is completed in a way that aligns with the broader objectives of the project and timeline. The effects of late delivery for an element of work. As we understand the negative effects of late delivery for any element of work, and this include the disruption of the planned timeline for the project, leading to rush or incomplete work in other areas. It increases stress among team members, negatively affects the quality of work to be delivered. And for section C, the presentation style. Throughout our entire presentation, we can confirm that our presentation style adheres to the following: identify the target audience, focuses on pertinent points, deliberate content and modular flow, contact-led research, organized presentation, used colors, adapted to environment, eye contact, open and communicative language, voice projection, encourages dialogue, adjusting speech rate and volume and complexity of the content, observing audience response, as requesting or accepting of feedback, entertaining, educational content, motivating, informative, and creates awareness. Thank you.
Okay, so the section D included the website demonstration. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to explain is what HTML stands for. HTML stands for the Hypertext Markup Language. It is the code that is used to structure a web page and its content. For example, for us to be able to build this beautiful template down here of the website, the content needed to be structured within a set of paragraphs, a list of bulleted points, or using images and data tables. So the visual below just shows how our Weshare looked like and the types of structure that we had. What is the physical context of a website? The physical context of a web page is the area around the main information on the page. It can consist of the images, edit text, or links that are connected to the main information in one way or another. Examples in our Weshare template below. We've got different types of data or content within our web page. We've got hyperlinks, we've got tables, and we've got content. We also needed to be able to understand or showcase that we understand the use of the HTML and the CSS feature. The HTML and CSS are essentially for creating the styling of the website. But then the HTML is like your body without the clothes, and then when CSS comes into play, it's like the clothes that makes everything look presentable. So the CSS, another way, is used to style the visual presentation of a document written in the HTML. It allows the web designers to control the layout, colors, fonts, and overall look of the website. By separating the structure HTML from the presentation, which is a CSS, web developers can create visually appealing and user-friendly websites that are also easy to maintain and update. In summary, HTML provides the structure and the content of a web page, while CSS is used to style and format the visual presentation of the content, and together they are fundamental tools for creating modern and responsive and visually appealing websites. Another thing that we needed to make sure that we understand in this project was that the different types of transactions that can be carried out via websites. So we all know that we've got different types of websites, but a website that deals with transaction is called an e-commerce website. And the different types of transactions that you can do on an e-commerce transaction would be buying online, paying someone, business-to-business transactions. This is your selling. You can also like business to consumer transactions. These are your buyers and all of that. You can be able to pay anything, buy anything online lately. And this is the beauty of websites and the functionalities that they're giving us in form of transactions. Thank you. I will hand it over to Mbelu for section E.
Okay, Mbelu again. I'm going to talk about web development tools. One of the most important tools is HTML. HTML is a standard markup language for creating web pages. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's a standard markup language for creating web pages. It describes the structure of a web page. It consists of a series of elements. Elements tells the browser how to display the content. So HTML elements label pieces of content such as this is a heading, this is a paragraph, this is a link, etc. The standard markup language for creating web pages. Basically, this is a simple structure of an HTML document. So we have document type, tag, which is simply the declaration. It's a declaration which defines that this document is an HTML element. Then comes the HTML tag element, is the root element of an HTML page. Then we have the head element, contains meta information about the HTML page. We have the title element, which specifies a title for the HTML page, which is shown in the browser's title bar or in the page tab, in the pages tab. For the body element, defines the document's body and is a container for all the visible content such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, etc. The H1 element defines a large heading and the P element defines a paragraph heading, and there are certain rules that you need to follow. For example, you have a document type, it cannot be under, it's always on top of the page, and which follows by the HTML tag, followed by the head. Then in the head we've got our title tags, and then the body and then we close them at the bottom. Now let's talk about the CSS. So CSS is the styling of the page, which stands for Cascading Style Sheet. It's used to design HTML tags. It is a widely used language on the web. So we use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which are used for web designing. It helps the web designers to apply styles on HTML tags. So there are 3 ways in which you can add CSS to HTML pages to format the documents according to information in the style sheet. So we've got inline CSS, we've got internal CSS, we've got external CSS. Brief overview of the importance of HTML editors and website design tools in creating and maintaining websites. So we've got editors like Sublime Text, Atoms, Visual Studio Code, Adobe Dreamweaver. Other website design maintenance tools include Content Management System (CMS) like WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal. Website builders like Wix, Squarespace, and Weebly. So the advantages of HTML editors and design tools is that we have control over code structure and design element, and flexibility to customize website layouts and functionality. We also have compatibility with various web technologies and platforms. The disadvantages are that learning curve for beginners, and also potential for code errors if not used correctly. Some tools may require payment for advanced features. Important file formats. Common file formats associated with websites include HTML, which is used for web structure, CSS, cascading style sheet for styling and layout. Then we have JavaScript for interactivity and dynamic content. We have image format, e.g., for example, JPEG, PNG, GIF for graphics and visuals. We have font formats, which is TTF, WOFF for typography. So the plugins that we have is for web enhances website functionality and user experience by extending the capabilities of web browsers. The role of plugins include adding features and functionality to web browsers that are not inherently supported, such as multimedia playback, document viewing, and security enhancement. Examples are multimedia plugins for Adobe Flash Player for playing media content. We've got security plugin, antivirus plugin for protecting against malware and phishing attacks. We have productivity plugins, task management tools, note-taking extensions, and collaboration plugins. We have accessibility plugins, screen readers, and other assistant technologies for users with disabilities. We've got analytics plugins tools for website tracking, analysis, and optimization. As mentioned before, the media plugins include provide support for audio, video, and interactive media playback. Then we have security plugin, which enhances browser security by blocking malicious content and protecting user data. We've got productivity plugins, which improves workflow efficiency with task management, note-taking, and collaboration tools. We've got accessibility plugin, which assists users with disabilities by providing accessibility features like screen readers and keyboard navigation. And lists, we've got analytics plugins, which tracks website traffic, user behavior, and performance metrics for optimization purposes. Thank you. That's all from me.